Hey, what's good, internet world? Donovan here, and in case you're wondering why I'm wearing a jacket indoors, it's fucking freezing in my apartment, and that's the story behind that. Anyways, I just got this album on loop all morning. It is, of course, the album that punks all over the world have been waiting for, hey, would you look at that, 18 years. It's What the new Black Flag album. They finally gave their fans what they wanted after 20 odd years. And although Henry Rollins wasn't interested, they did manage to round up former Black Flag vocalist Ron Reyes. What I found extremely surprising was the fact that SST actually produced this album, SST being the label that produced all previous Black Flag albums, as well as being the label that everyone just thought had disappeared off the face of the planet. The lineup, like I mentioned earlier, consisted of Ron Reyes on vocals, as well as Black Flag founder and only constant member of Black Flag, Greg Ginn, as well as two newcomers. I love how Black Flag didn't reunite with no key members and then try to pass themselves off as the original. Sometimes you get bands that reunite with only one original member, such as the case with Reagan Youth, and it's just always a letdown. I love how after all these years, Ron and Greg still have a passion for Black Flag. Now granted, Ron Reyes wasn't an original member, but he still played an important role in the early Black Flag years. Black Flag was one of those bands that got me interested in fast alternative music, as I'm sure was the case for many punks out there. So when I went in for a first listen, this album definitely had a fuck ton to measure up to. Now as for this album, it's their longest album to date. You're definitely getting your money's worth just in the duration alone. This album clocks in at just under 45 minutes, which is extremely long for a punk album. There are 22 tracks that pick up right where they left off in 1985. Just like the album In My Head, we get a very unique Black Flag sound. You know, it's a slower, raw punk feel. That's another thing I love about this album. The production reminds me of some of the releases from the 1980s. It sounds great without being overproduced. They haven't really altered their sound a whole lot, which I have no problem with, but I can certainly see some people being disappointed that they didn't revert back to their Nervous Breakdown era sound. They wanted their near 20-year separation to appear seamless when placed up next to other Black Flag releases, which I can certainly understand because I still loved In My Head, Damage, Slip It In, as well as all their releases. With that said, I'm sure everyone watching this who's seen my previous videos already knows what I think of the album. I really enjoyed it. Black Flag still has that same austere, badass presence on this album. All the lyrical themes haven't really been altered a whole lot. Just like in the old days, they deal with angsty dissatisfaction, as well as resentment towards the people around you that give you shit all the time. The speed of the album is pretty consistent from start to finish. There are a couple tracks at the beginning, though, that do sound pretty bluesy. The track Now Is the Time sounds like it came off a Danzig record or something, which is pretty new for Black Flag. All the songs are very catchy, and the progression throughout the album is very smooth. And in that I mean that I can't really think of a song that I need to skip every time I hear it. My favorite track on the album has to be the song Give Me All Your Dough. It's just the most memorable, and it's so traditional Black Flag, it's fucking awesome. I really can't think of any major faults with the album. I suppose if they wanted to make it a little better, they could have worked a little bit more on tempo variation. Like I said, that isn't a problem for me, but I know that there'll be several forums out there with people complaining how, you know, Black Flag had 18 years and they should have gone back to their most popular sound, blah blah blah. Listen, I saw the band Flag this year, you know, that Black Flag Reformation project with Keith Morris, Des Cadena, Bill Stevenson, a couple other guys playing Black Flag songs, and it was fucking fast as shit. I'm positive that if they come out with a new album and start writing new material, that it'll sound just like the Off album or any of Keith's faster punk projects. I'm sure it'll be awesome, I'm sure I'll love that one too, but leave this Black Flag to where they left off. I love how we basically have two Black Flags now. This means that we get the best from both of their sounds. There's no reason to throw a fit that Black Flag is just progressing in the same direction they were when they stopped. It's sludgier, slower, and just more straight up punk rock. If Flag writes some new material and releases an album, I don't know if it'll happen, but if it does, then all fans will be satisfied. And if not, then just hope that Mike Vallely prefers their older stuff and can fulfill your insatiable desires on the next one. Anyway, I think I'll give this album an 8.5 out of 10. The only reason I won't go higher is because I do marginally prefer their faster stuff as well. It's an excellent album though, like go buy it right now. If you've already heard the album, tell me what you think of it. Post it in the comments section below. Was it a step in the right direction? Let me know. What album do you want me to review next? You know, you can like the video, you can subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my new releases, and enjoy the rest of your day. Until next time, peace the fuck out.